What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning back in to another episode of Florida Prison Talk. I'm your host, Easy Win. And make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button, man, and engage in the comments like y'all been doing. I appreciate all y'all. We back up in Rikers Island. I appreciate all the love on this Rikers Island series. I appreciate all the love. And we right back in the state of New York with another one coming from Rikers Island. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
What's up, everybody? This is Sade, a.k.a. Lil Mario from the Once Upon a Time show. I'm originally from Sunset Park, Brooklyn, but now I'm living in North Carolina. So, you know what I'm saying? This is where my story starts when I started changing my life and I left all the gang banging and all that alone, you know?
That's what's up. And he has a YouTube page also, so I'm going to pin all of that information in the comments. I'm going to pin all that information in the comments. He has a Once Upon a Time. He's going to go over all of that when we get to the end. We're going to go over all of that stuff. You guys are going to love his page. He's a hard worker. I'm glad to have met you and came in contact with you, man. I really appreciate this. But without ado, let's get right.
I appreciate you having people. Once Upon a Time on YouTube. Sade, a.k.a. Lil Mario. Don't just look at my video. Subscribe. I talk about gangs, addiction, all for the kids. You know what I'm saying? This is for the kids right here.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. Okay. So, what year did you go to Rikers Island?
The first time I went to Rikers Island was about, I'm not good with the years or whatever, but I'm going to say when it was wilding, back 91, 92, that's when I got into the war. But the first time I hit the island was about 87, 88.
Okay. How old were you then when you first hit the island?
I was about 18, 19.
Okay, you was young. Okay, and okay, so on that bus ride, when you knew you was going to Rikers Island, was you scared? Was you nervous? Or you was like, nah, I ain't worried about this? How was you feeling?
Oh, man. Now, I don't know if you want me to start from the beginning, because a lot of people, when they tell their stories, they tell about, they just went to Rikers Island. You got to start from the beginning, because the viewers or the kids want to hear exactly what happens when you get locked up. And I could tell you, break it down the whole truth. You know what I'm saying? Number one, you get locked up. You get driven down to the precinct. They take down the information or whatever. Then you go to central booking. Then that's like a 24-hour thing right there. So you're already locked up for one day. After you're in central booking, you're not going to see the judge that day. All right? You're going to go sleep in the precinct for maybe a week. So you're jumping from precinct to precinct for a whole week before you actually see the judge. So right now you're doing time without doing time, and they got you guilty, you know what I'm saying, without even, So I was already afraid before I even hit Rikers Island, before I even got on that bus. I was scared because I was locked up. I was a kid, and I heard all the stories. So that's where it started off, when I was scared. So yeah, I was shitting bricks when I got on that bus. Once the judge said bail, because that's the only time you go to Rikers Island, either you got sentenced or you got bail. Now you're going to Rikers Island if they can't afford to take you out. I was poor. I couldn't afford $1,000, so I went to Rikers Island. All right? That's a long bus ride from the courthouse all the way to Rikers Island. And in that fucking bus, it stinks. You got people crying, throwing up. You have it all in there. And all you're thinking about is you're scared, bro. I was actually crying, but looking at the cars passing by and smelling the air, because the air starts getting dirtier once you get close to the island, because it's made out of, on top of fucking garbage, bro. If people know the history, Rikers Island was built on top of trash. By the time you're on that fucking long ass ride going over the bridge, your heart's already pumping. And the first house you see to your right is C-74. That's the fucking place where you're going to. You better either put up or shut up. So yeah, that's my little experience with the bus ride. I was shitting bricks.
Yeah. Okay, so was you with a brotherhood or organization? Was you with a gang when you was growing up?
Back then, we're going from the 80s now. So I'm starting from the 80s. In the 80s, I wasn't in no gang, but there were gangs. Like I said before in my stories, they were outlaws. They were like biker gangs that wear, you know what I'm saying, leather vests and boots and hats. They were called outlaws. Those were the gang members that we had around. They didn't have no Bloods, Crips, and all that, blah, blah, blah. Not even Latin Kings. Latin Kings were mostly upstate in the 80s. They didn't hit the island full speed ahead until the 90s. So, yeah, I wasn't a part of a gang in prison, but I was a part of a street gang called El Posse, Los Mafiosos. That's from Sunset Park. Yeah.
Okay.
A street gang. Yeah.
So, so you get to Rikers Island. So you went to C-74. How long did it take before trouble found you or you found trouble?
Well, see, that's the thing. To go to C-74, you got to be an adolescent. Right now, 18, 19, that was my age. I was considered, let's say, an adult. So you don't automatically go to C-74. When you're an adult, you could go to any building, C-73, C-95, wherever they have room for you. That's where you're going, depending on your classification and all that. That's where you're going. I ended up in this one was C-73. So C-73 was the first building I ended in, and that was like back then was the women's house. They had women there and all that. So that was the first house. But it was still crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Adults, you know, the adolescents were wild, but they did all the scratching, cutting, little scratches and all that. The adults were the killers. You fuck with an adult, they're gonna stab you up. They ain't just gonna cut you, they're gonna stick it in you, So I was scared.
So what kind of things did you see there? Was the phones really a big deal like everybody said they were?
The phones is the biggest thing on Rikers. I mean, you got to understand, like I said before, when you get locked up, you're already a week inside the system before you actually see that judge. You ain't getting no fucking phone call, all right? Once you get to Rikers Island, you want to call your people. I mean, once you get in that house, you're like, yo, I got to tell my family, get me out of here or whatever. You want to get on that phone. Now you have people already in there that control the phone. So you can't just come in the house and say, hey, I want to use the phone. That's not going to happen. You either going to have to fight for it or not get shit. Because trust me, you can't ask. There ain't no, hey, can I please use the phone? Now you ain't going to use shit. Back then I'm talking about. Now It's easy. You're part of a gang, and now you can use the phone, which is bullshit now. But before, you had to be a man to use that phone. Yeah.
So what did you do to use the phone? What did you have to do to use the phone when you was there?
My first fight was a C-73, and it was because of the phone. Like I said, I was already in tuned with fighting. So all the outlaws, the older gangbangs, the drug dealers that did time and came home that I grew up with, they already put me up on the scoop. Yo, when you get to Rikers Island, they're going to try you. They're going to go for your sneakers. I mean, they told me the whole thing. So when I got there, I had to build that animal image because if not, they're going to say Sade was on Rikers Island and he was a pussy. Because trust me, what you're doing there, they're going to find out in the street. I don't know how the fuck, but everybody finds out what you doing there. So you know what I'm saying? If a motherfucker lies on here, they're gonna get caught out there because they say, bullshit, bro, you wasn't there, bro, you didn't do that. So you gotta watch what you say. But anyway, that was a big issue. Getting on the phone, and I already went in there with that attitude. So of course, I had to do what I had to do. Now, the lucky thing was when I got in there was somebody already in there that I knew, and he was from my town. All right? His name was Swan. Shout out to Swan, Sunset Park, Bay Ridge boy. Basically, he put me up. He's like, yo, say, Papa. He called me Papa. Yo, Papa, check this out, bro. I'm not going to give you permission to use the phone because you're my boy. You're going to earn this shit, bro. And that's the way it was. Just because you was down with a gang or crew back then didn't mean you automatically get, no. You're going to fucking show me that you get down before I even think about backing you up. And that's what I had to do. I was scared. I was this and that, but he coached me. Hey, just walk up to him, bang him in the back, whatever. And that's it. That's what I did. I was scared. I grabbed the guy by the hair. I took a fucking, back then, it's funny, this story, because everybody's talking about razors, right?
Right.
When I was younger, I didn't have a razor. I just came off the street. Like I said, I was in the system for a week or so, but we could have cigarettes. So I did the old burn the cigarette trick. You know, you could make a razor out of a cigarette. You know, a lot of people didn't know that, but you could. So it doesn't matter. Oh, I didn't have no razor, this and that bullshit. You smoke, right? Burn the tip of it. Make sure you step on that shit real hard, sharpen it a little. You put 3 of them right here, and you got a good slice in the face. It's not going to go deep. It's going to be a scratch, but it's the point. You got busy. You did your job. After I did that, of course, the guy will fall back. I fought him. I got my ass kicked. But you know what? I got my respect. That's all that counted. Win or lose, I got my respect. And you know what? I got to use the phone at 8 in the night that day because Sade stood up for himself. So I got a pat on the back. So, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, turn the light. Can you turn the light on? All right. So, okay. So the phone situation, with the phone situation, you say you was able to use the phone. Did the trouble stop then? Do you have any other incidents you got into after the phone situation that you can speak about?
After the phone incident on that charge or whatever, no. Because I actually got on the phone that night because I explained to them, yo, I need to get bailed out of here. I've been locked up for a week. You know, I need to use the phone. Swan told me, yo, this is what you got to do. I did it. He's from my neighborhood. So I couldn't say, nah, man, nah. I had to. I was scared, bro. But I did it to impress. And you know what? When I got to the neighborhood, that gave me stripes. And that's the thing, you know, that's what made me feel like, oh, shit. All I got to do is this and that. And now, you know what I'm saying? Sade, yeah, that's my boy. He got down, you know? So now that gave me more. So the next day, my mother came and bailed me out. So, you know, that was the end of that. You know what I'm saying? I went to court. Whatever happened, happened. So, yeah, that was that story. So I had one fight when I first got locked up on Rikers Island over the phone. So that's embedded in my head. If I ever get to Rikers Island again, I'm going to have to start getting busy. So, yeah.
So how many, after you got bailed out, how many times did you see Rikers Island after that? How was your next?
Yeah, you got to understand also, during these days, this time, 88, 89, 90, before 91, because from 91 on, that's where my war story starts with the gangs and all that. So before that, TNT was around, which was a tactical narcotics team. They used to come and raid the block. I used to sell crack and heroin, take everybody. So every week you're getting locked up, or every day. You might come on that same day, you're getting locked up. But I never did time. You know, I never had to go back to the island. I always went through the system, ROR, or just got bonded out right there because the connection was there. So you know what I'm saying? So I never really actually went back, but I did get arrested like 5 more times. Drugs, you know. So
yeah. Okay, so you say your story starts at your war story starts and the gang stuff starts at 91.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start at 91. So what happened in 91?
All right. Let me see. 1991, I was 21, 22 years old. I'm 51 right now. I was born in 69. So whoever want to count, they could count. 1991. I got locked up for selling a direct sale to a cop. It was crack cocaine that I was selling. So they gave me a high bail. I got $75,000 bail. I was like, dang. You know what I'm saying? I hit the island again. This time, from the last time that I hit the island on 88, that it was already wild. All them years going in and out, going through the system, my friends doing time, coming home, things started changing. And now they're telling me different stories. Oh, people are into cutting and this and that. So when I got locked up again, I was like, shit, now I got to get back into this. Because I already remembered from the last time, you're not going to go there just to sit around and do your time. It's impossible. Fuck that, especially where I come from. You know what I mean? You can't.
Yeah.
That shit follows you.
You mean to tell me that at that time you went in, you couldn't just go to Rikers Island and say, I'm going to mind my own business.
No.
Trouble's going.
I mean, you could. It all depends. Number one, I'm gonna take it from the person that's already locked up point of view, and you're coming in. I'm gonna watch you come in. If you have that little street style or a little image or something that you think you bad, I'm gonna test you out. All right, that's number one. Then you have the other one that are scared. So you have the vultures already. This guy's a punk, this and that, you know. I want his sneakers, so you're gonna get fucked with. Then you have the other ones that aren't really scared, ain't going in there with an image, but they have this face that don't fuck with me. Those are the ones you don't fuck with because you could tell. Straight up, you could tell. One gangster could tell another gangster, right? You can't fuck with it. He did time before. If you've never been there before, you know what I'm saying? The first timers, I'm sorry, but if you've been there before, you could tell. So it depends how you carry yourself going in. I'm not saying going in there tough and all, but a lot of people go in there thinking they're tough and they're not. They get preyed on. A lot of people go in there scared and they show it, they get preyed on. So you can't just go in there and say, I'm going to do my time. No, it all depends how you're doing your time, bro.
Okay.
It all depends, you know?
Yeah. So when you went back in 91, was there gangs at this time?
In 91, all that was really floating around, because back then, 80s, in the beginning of the 90s, they didn't have really gangs, okay? The most you probably hear in the prisons are the Muslims or the Latin Kings and the 5%. Those are basically the major ones. They were mostly going by boroughs. So the Bronx and Manhattan stood together. Then you had Queens and Brooklyn that stood together. Staten Island sometimes ran with Brooklyn. They had their own little crowd. So it wasn't really major gangs. It was mostly boroughs. From the 90s on, it started changing to the gang because of the oppression and all that. I could break down the oppression too, because a lot of people say, oh, the blacks, oh, the Spanish.
Yeah, who was getting oppressed, man? Speak about the oppression for a little bit.
All right. I'm going to speak my point of view. Everybody has their own point of view. All right. In the 80s, when a Latino got locked up, the majority that was locked up were 5%ers, right? Most of the 5%ers, you had some that were gods, that were good people, and then you had some that were like the thug ones, you know what I'm saying, that will rob you and this and that. So, you know, that was back then, you know, the 5%ers ran this shit. So, damn, I forgot what we were talking about. The oppression, my bad, bro. So, the blacks were oppressing the Spanish. I don't care what anybody says, all right? People are twisting shit around. 5%ers used to oppress the sucker Spanish people, like I said before, depending how you carry yourself. They were the mostly ones that were oppressing them. The drug addicts or the poor person. You know, the one that looked it all fucked up, they were oppressed or robbing you for your shit. You go in with jewelry, sneakers, they'll rob you for your shit. Spanish people got tired of it, and that's when the Latin Kings formed. That was the first Latino group that formed to fight against the oppression. Once we started fighting back and we stopped getting oppressed, that's when they were like, oh shit, now we're getting our asses kicked. Let's form something else. And they got together. Now you hear Bloods coming out, fighting against whatever. Then the Netas, that's who I was with, started coming out, you know, so that's when that started building up. But it started with colors first. I don't want to make it seem racial, but yeah, my point of view, that's how it started. So we protected ourselves. We made Latin Kings. You know what I mean? So that's my point of view.
So did you have to go through stuff with the blacks when you got there? Did you have any problems?
Of course, most of my problems were with blacks. I mean, like I said, back then in the 80s and the 90s, it was mostly racial stuff going on. You know, it wasn't that I hanged out with a lot of black people, don't get me wrong, but when you locked up, that shit stops. You could be my best friend and all, but when shit pops off, Latinos with Latinos, blacks with blacks, no matter who you are, I'm going to have to go against you, my brother. You got to understand the prison politics now. And like I said, I was schooled already with it. So by the time I went in there, I had that already embedded, and now it's time to perform. Now it's time to show and prove. So now it's time for Sade to make a name for himself, which that's like I said, that's when I started building up, you know?
So speak about it. Can you speak about a situation you've been in, a couple of situations you've been in on that second time around?
1991, this was more or less the Neta. This is the organization that I was with. It's an association pro inmate rights, Association Neta. Back then when it first came out, but running as a gang, because the concept that they had in Puerto Rico where it first started wasn't shown in New York, in the United States yet. You know, people were just getting released from the prisons in Puerto Rico, or their family member was part of it, and they come to New York. Yeah, let's start this now. So it started off as a gang, you know? Yeah. So basically, we was against all the abuse and all that shit. So there was, you know, I never told this story, but I'm going to say it quick and just forget about it. I almost got raped, and Latin Kings looked out for me. Okay, let's just start from like this. Boom. I got locked up in 1991 for selling crack. I was on 46th Street between 5th and 6th. They gave me a $75,000 bond. So basically, I'm going to the island, right? While I'm in the island, no, I went to the Brooklyn house first. My bad. I went to the Brooklyn house first. While I was in the Brooklyn house, I was on the 7th floor. Right next to me, I guess there was a sexual predator or whatever. You know what I mean? He came to my cell and tried to play me, telling me I look cute or whatever, you know? But, you know, I'm already a street mentality guy. I ain't gonna fall for that bullshit. I already heard of Mama Dear and this and that about the candy and all that shit. So basically, to make a long story short, I punched him in the face and we started going at it inside the cell. Some brothers came, which were Latin Kings, and they're like, yo, what's going on? I told them what happened. Yo, this guy tried to rape me, this and that. They jumped him. They beat the fuck out of him. They took him out. They transferred me to the 5th floor for me to wait for the next bus to get on the island, because they were like, he's a troublemaker. Let's send him to the island, you know, if he wants to cause trouble. But basically, that night, they put me on the bus, and I hit Rikers Island. When I hit Rikers Island, I went straight to C95, okay? In C95, there was already a little racial war going on with the blacks and the Spanish and all that. It was already starting, you know? The Latin Kings were already formed. They were coming down from upstate because they either were fighting their charges, you know? So they were all on Rikers Island because that's where you go, C95 in the projects. So I was in one main. A lot of them were there. So that day that I pulled up, there was a war going on. I didn't know. I walked into a war. So I went through reception. They walked me to the dorm. By the time I walked in the dorm, C.O. Palmer was there. Everybody know Palmer. Palmer, he was the first one to alert the Latinos, yo, shit's gonna pop off. He started giving out knives and razors to everybody.
Hold on. Back up real quick.
A CEO.
The CEO was giving out razors? Okay.
Yeah. He was giving out razors and bangers to everybody. It was going on Rikers. Everybody that's been there, they you know, they could vouch for it. Even with that bailing people out. That shit was happening, you know? Yeah. But I walked into the war. Once I walked into the dorm, it was already gonna pop off that day in the yard. When I went to the yard, that's it. It was all man for himself. It wasn't, no, I'm not down with you, this and that. It was Latino against blacks. 1991 war. The first war in C95 that I've been in was in 1991. Was against the blacks, you know? So basically it was crazy. You know, I didn't get caught or stabbed, thank God. The second time I did. But this time I didn't. But I got my ass kicked badly. By the CO. CO's kicked my ass. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy, man. That's a hell of a war. You walked, that's what I'm saying. You walked in, as soon as you got there. Hey, listen up. Hit that like and subscribe button, man. Y'all viewers tune into this, man. You got teenage kids acting all hard and tough. Let them tune into this, man. But listen, so you, as soon as you got there, the war was
over. As soon as I got there, I got on the bus to Rikers. They threw me out. Basically, they threw me out of the Brooklyn house, which is the house of detention for men you know, every borough has their own house of detention. You have the Manhattan house, Brooklyn house, Bronx house. I was in the Brooklyn house. So they threw me out of the Brooklyn house, sent me to Rikers Island with the big dogs. They said, oh, you a gangster, you tough? Let's send them to Rikers. I said, fuck, let's go to Rikers. Like I said, I already had it embedded. I already been through a fight with the phone. I already knew it was coming up. Right. I knew I wasn't coming out. My family already abandoned me, you know, and that's in my story also. If people want to check out my stories, I talk about addiction also. I was a drug addict. So I was on the streets already. You know what I mean? So by the time I got there, I didn't have nothing to lose. Fuck that shit. I'm going to break your shit up. I'm going to cut you up, send me to the box. But back then, you didn't go to the box. You go to solitary maybe for a day. They bail you out. You're out the next day. You know what I mean? That's how easy it was.
So listen, I couldn't help but to hear you earlier. You say, thank God I didn't get stabbed up. But the second time I did. What second time?
Yeah. Second time there was I said this story also in C95. Basically, I was already a high-ranking member of the Netas, and it was already popping off. If anybody was there in the yard, C95, this was 95, 96, when they had the war with the Bloods. All right, then this is what I'm talking about. We went to the yard, and it was, no lie, it was like maybe 50 or 70 Netas. There was about 20 Latin kings, and there was about 100 or 1,000 Bloods in the yard that day. So basically, the Latin kings, they all got together in the middle. So the yard, you could go around the yard and, you know, hang out in the middle if you want. So I got along with the Latin king. You know what I'm saying? King Meg, King, you know, I don't want to name kings, but, you know, a lot of kings that I grew up with were there. So I went with them along with 5 other brothers. There was only 5 Netas that went to the middle with the 20 Latin kings or 10 or whatever it was, you know, who's counting? So one of the Latin kings was saying something in Spanish. That, you know, ten cuidado que algo va a pasar, you know, something's going to pop off. I could feel it. So, you know, I was the first one along with the other manitos that I was with. Fuck it, let's get busy. Let's do this. We didn't know what was going to happen. We thought it was just going to be a regular fight, you know? So we see the Bloods walking around, but then separated. You see like 5 stop and they stand and the other kept going. Then 5 stop and the others kept going. So they were like breaking up into 5 groups or whatever. Make a long story short, you know, we're over there talking shit or whatever. They start rushing us from all directions. We were in the middle. They rushed us from all directions. So all we did was turn around back to back and just started fighting, bro. That shit got crazy. There was about a fucking 500 motherfuckers. Bible. CEOs didn't want to come in. It got too crazy, you know? Right. So there was a lot of, like I said, now I'm going to get into one of the reasons why the Netas broke up. I don't know if you ever heard of the Netas, but Neta was a big organization like the Latin King, you know? And this is one of the reasons why. Now, like I said, there was like 70, 75 of us. Only 5 of us went to the middle with the Latin Kings. All the rest stood on the side. When the shit popped off, most of them motherfuckers ran. Most of them motherfuckers were climbing the gate. They had a big fence around C95. No lie, bro. People were trying to get out that yard because they didn't want to get stabbed. There were like 50 people that got stabbed, cut, la-di-da-di-da-di. So this is what happened. Out of them people that were running toward the gate or whatever, they were trying to climb over to run away like a bunch of pussies. Some of the Bloods were attacking my brothers. So they were climbing the gate, getting them. I came to protect some of my brothers. Yo, what the fuck you do? Blah, 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 blah. Started getting busy on some of the Bloods to protect my brother climbing that gate. While we were, I mean, it's kind of something that's in an action movie because we were climbing the gate, fighting at the same time and trying to stab each other. Word up, it was some crazy shit. But anyway, I was on that cage and the Blood came from behind and started stabbing me from behind. I got the cuts right here. I got a scar here, right here. I got a bang down here also. On the gate. So basically people were trying to climb over.
Right.
And those were my pussy ass brothers that were running away, afraid. And I was trying to protect them, so I got stabbed for them.
Dang.
You know? So that was the first time. And yo, all you hear was the noise of screaming, bro. It's a scream that you could fucking never forget. I used to be por favor. I mean, Spanish people crying, you know, like begging, please save me. And that shit stood in my fucking mind, bro. You know, the scars, the fucking memories.
That's crazy.
So from 91 on, I got crazy, bro. You know?
So did Rikers Island, did it make you more violent of a person, you think?
That's what I'm saying. It got me more crazy because you had to. A lot of people go to Rikers Island humble. A man, they come out like an animal.
Damn.
Number one, because how you're treated by the correction. They treat you like animals, so you're going to act like an animal. Then you have inmates that love, they're predators. They love that shit, and the CO set it up. Because they're bored and they're like, fuck it, let's put this one and this one together. Let them kill themselves. Okay, I got $20 on this one. I got $10 on this one. They were doing that shit. They were having fun because now they're getting overtime. Every time somebody gets stabbed or whatever, the police get overtime. So they were getting paid for motherfuckers like us to kill each other.
Damn.
I get excited because I'm getting flashbacks.
Keep on going. You're flowing with it. That's crazy what the CO's doing. Keep going. So real quick, let me so this is what I heard. You just kind of explained it. So I heard that if the COs got mad at somebody, they'll take one person in the gang and put them in the house with a whole different gang.
Yeah.
That's like suicide, man.
They did that to me right after that. Okay. Now the story keeps on or whatever after the war. All right. So basically, I got cut. Everybody got stabbed. They found 007 real knives on the floor. Once everything was over with, it was shiny shit everywhere. Boom. They take me inside. So now all of us got charged, of course. You know, assault charges, weapon charges, whatever. So we're all going to the box, the Bing. At this time, OBCC, which was the Bing, you know, it wasn't really open, but it was open for new inmates to come in. Everybody used to always go to HDM. All right. So the guy that I fought, or the CO that beat my ass, his name was CO Green. I guess he had some kind of brother-in-law, somebody, family member that was in transportation. And they said, okay, I want you to send Vargas, me, of course. I want you to send Vargas to the Bing. All right. Now, the day that they sent me to the Bing, the same day, they were picking up other inmates from different houses to go to the Bing because now they're making it a blood house. They called it the dog pound. So basically, I was the only Neta inside the Bing because of the CO. They were setting it up for them to whatever. So he said, okay, you're a tough guy, cool. Send him to the Bing. So they sent me to the Bing. But while I was on the bus, they picked up this guy in, I think it was either HDM or the Beacon, a well-known blood. I don't know if I should say name, but these guys were the first guys that started the Bloods. You know what I'm saying?
They old now.
Well, anyway, you know, most of these guys, they told the story anyway. But anyway, that day they were transferring OG Wildcat. He was coming from, I think, HDM. He was going to the Bing. They picked him up, but he was in a vehicle on his own because he was so high class or high classification. He was in his own vehicle, but they told me straight up, "You're gonna be with that animal." I was like, "Whatever, bro. I'm Neta. Bring it. I don't give a fuck." So basically, they picked up another guy. His name was Bad Vibes, I think, some shit like that. Bad Vibes. But anyway, it was like 3 or 4 top members of the Bloods that they were transferring that day to OBCC. Now, if everybody been to OBCC, they know that you have the north side, south side, west side, east side, and you have the different floors. One south was the floor for the Bloods. Where they put me at, one south. I was like, oh, shit. So basically, when I walked in, they were doing their roll call. Now, if a Blood is listening, they know what's the roll call. they start banging on the cell. Bah, 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 bah. Who you be? Who you be? I be from the Bronx. My name is this and that. And they start doing their roll call. Brah, brah, brah. And I came into that. I was like, oh, okay. The whole thing started roaring. Oh, there goes Neta. And I'm like, oh, shit. The police did that shit to put fear in my heart. I had fear in my heart, but I didn't show it. I was shackled up. Man, fuck y'all niggas, bro. Fuck y'all, man. But anyway, they put me next to Wildcat. His name was Marco something. I remember because they kept fucking with his name. Hey, Marco. And yo, fuck that. I'm OG Wildcat. So I remember that Marco name. You know what I'm saying? So he was next to me and he told me, yo, papi, you know Spanish. He was probably the only Spanish blood. He told me, yo, papi, you know what I'm saying? You know, if you hit that yard, they're going to kill you, right? I'm just telling you straight out. Don't hit the yard. It ain't that I was scared. It ain't that I'm a pussy. It's that I was fucking smart.
Exactly.
I didn't hit the fucking yard, bro. And he told me straight out, you go out there, we're going to kill you. I was in the Blood House, 1 South. After that, the next day, I went to 5 South, which was upstairs, and I was king in Netas, and I was like, now I can do my time. But yeah, they put me in 1 South, and he told me, if you go to the yard tomorrow, we're going to kill you. He told me straight out. I didn't go to the yard. They called the yard. I'm like, oh.
Hey, right? He was ringing, his name was ringing bells, wasn't it?
Yeah, Wildcat was ringing bells back then, because he was an adolescent. So, you know what I'm saying? When he hit the adults, like HDM and all that, I guess he already had that name. So being from an organization like the Neta, that was a high-ranking Neta, we send kites to each other. Who's doing what to who? So in case you land in my house, I got a mission to get you now. So Wildcat was one of the names that were going around. You know?
Yeah.
Wildcat, OG Mag. But I mean, you had all these names. Look out for them. You see them, green light. I ended up right next to the fucking guy. So, you know, if you remember me, yo, my name is Mario, bro. They used to call me Little Mario Machete because there was a big Mario Machete. When I got to the island, I was like, yo, you know, my name is Mario. I didn't really use Sade. They're like, oh, Little Mario Machete. That's your brother? I'm like, nah, but fuck it. I'm Machete then. You know, I'm Little Mario Machete. So that's me. Just to let y'all know. You know? I didn't really go by Sade or whatever on Rikers Island. That's the shit. Who the fuck is Sade? I used a different name. They used to call me Menor, or they used to call me whatever, you know, a different name. The Spanish people always give you a name and shit. So, you know, there you go. Damn, I'm hyped.
Bro, I love it. Hey, hit that like and subscribe button. I love your energy, man. We're not done. Tell me the name of your page again, man. We're going to keep saying that throughout this episode. What's the name of your page on YouTube?
Yo, Once Upon a Time on YouTube. The Once Upon a Time show. I need all the subscribers I could get. I got stories there on Trinitarios. I got it on everything. So if you're a Trinitario fan, I got shit on that also. Also, I talk about recovery. I'm a recovering addict. How I got clean. How I relapsed during COVID and then bounced right back because I almost died. I got stories on that. So you kids that are thinking about getting locked up, using drugs or whatever, Once Upon a Time. My name is Sade, a.k.a. Little Mario. Check it out. I got videos there. Hit the subscribe. Please help me out, bro.
All right. So listen, we just spoke about you being put in a blood house, being that you was a Neta, and you knew what happened to you. Has another gang ever been sent to your house?
What do you mean? Like a setup?
Yeah, like a setup. Yes.
Yeah. You want me to tell you a story on that?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you a gross story. I said this also. Like I said, people, on my page, all these things that I'm telling him, I said stories on, and they're all validated. So I'm going to say the shit story. All right. I called it the shit story. All right. So basically, I'm in OBCC in the Bing, right? I'm already doing my time, and I'm coming out. So I'm in the holding cells in OBCC, and there's this guy in the other cell. He's a high-ranking blood. This one, I don't want to mention his name because I don't want to cause no problem. Then people going to talk shit. You know, I'm not into all that. I'm going to send a message. Don't get locked up. This could happen to you. But anyway,
Okay.
But this could happen to you also if you sleep on a motherfucker. Check out this story. All right. So basically, he gets on the bus with me to go back to C95 because that was the house where I came out of. Whatever house you left, they're going to bring you right back to. So I went back to C95 to 1 Main. I was on the A side. This time I'm going to the B side. They got two sides. So during the ride to C95, there's this guy bitching. Oh, man, bro, they're going to put me back in the projects in C95. They're going to kill me, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And the CO kept telling him, that's for being a big mouth. That's for being a wise ass. That's what you get. Come on, tough guy. Let's see how tough you are. We're going to see how tough you are. And I was like, damn, I wonder what's going to, I was curious. I'm like, oh, shit, you know? So anyway, we get to C95 and Palmer comes. This time, Palmer knows me. He was like, yo, Blue Boy, your cousin. But Blue Boy, okay, there's 2 Blue Boys. There's the real Blue Boy, which I know also from the Lower East Side. Yo, shout out to Blue Boy, bro. My wife knows his family. My wife, Wanda Morales, she's from Avenue D also. She knows the family. I met the family. I don't know if they remember me, Lil Mario. But anyway, shout out. Then there was another guy called Blue Boy. His name was Lalo. He was from my neighborhood. So he was around, right? Because I would say, oh, I'm Blue Boy. Say Lil Mario is my cousin. So by the time the CEO came back, Palmer, he was like, yo, Blue Boy's here. Your cousin's here. I'm like, oh, shit, for real? So they were here. Oh, shit, Blue Boy. That's your cousin? I'm like, yeah, Blue Boy's my cousin. But it wasn't the real Blue Boy. It was the wannabe. So let's just get that clear. In case somebody was there and said, oh, yeah, he was saying Blue Boy. I know Blue Boy's not my family. It was a wannabe guy. So anyway, Palmer takes us to 1 Main because that was his house. So the CEO, whoever's house you're going to, they're going to pick you up and walk you to their house. During the walk, the guy is still bitching. Yo, man, y'all doing me wrong. You should have put me over there. You know what I could get into. You know they're going to kill me. And he also warned them. That's one thing that I was thinking. I was like, what did he mean by that? He was like, but if you put me in there, you know what's going to happen. I already knew he was blood, so I was like, I got to see this. Because he was talking a lot, you know? And people that talk a lot don't show a lot of action. This guy proved it. It's all good. But anyway, we get to the house. I already knew the guy was blood. So I get into a house that was Latin Kings and Netas only. So basically, they were putting him into that house because he was a tough guy. They already had it set up. Like I said, they do that. So he already knew it. And he was pleading with them, please don't put me in there. They're going to kill me or I'm going to end up killing them. They were like, laughing. You ain't going to do shit. You ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Back then, you had to be prepared with whatever up your ass. And, you know, I could get that on another story. But I go in first. They called my name. Boom. Look for a bed. So, of course, you know, I went with my people. You had the Lion Kings on the right. You had the Netas on the left in the back. So I go up to them. You know, they were all together. I'm like, yo, there's a, we used to call them, not ketchup, but, you know, we had a different name for the blood. I'm not even going to say the name. But anyway, I said, there's a blood coming in, bro. Be on alert. You know what I'm saying? So I already gave that word because you got to understand, by this time, the war was on. It was green light. Anywhere you see a blood, whatever, you do what you got to do. So I played the humble, you know, you blood, you saying this and that. I'm going to tell my people, we're going to eat you now because you ate like 10 of my fucking brothers. And that's why he was in the bin. He was a well-known guy for cut people. But anyway, let me get back to the story. I go in and I tell one of the brothers, yo, there's the blood coming in, bro. What's up? They all look at like, oh, shit, where? So they all set up. You had some go to the left, some go to the right, some next to the bathroom. So basically, they're surrounded so he won't go nowhere, you know? So he walks in and he says it one more time. Please don't put me in here, bro. They were like, fuck you, man. Get in there. And they pushed him.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm serious, straight up. Whoever was dead to bow down, I'm not going to say this in front of the world, and I'm bullshit. Yo, I got papers, bro. And that's one thing,
bro. Like, keep continuing.
That's one thing people don't show our papers. I got papers, you know what I'm saying? But my life, though, let me hook it up. You know, I got papers and all that, and that's one thing, you know, when a person says, I've been to the bin or whatever, show your fucking papers, bro. I got my papers saying that I got for assault or whatever with weapons. It's all here in black and white. But anyway, let me get back to the story. I just like bragging that because people talk shit, but they don't have papers to it, you know? But it was documented. But anyway, he goes in and he walks towards the left because we're in a dorm. So you have Broadway. Broadway is the main floor that you walk through the middle. Then you have the bed to your left and your right. So you have like 10 beds all lined up, one after another with a lock and all that. So the blood guy, he goes to the third bed. He's walking, and then when he walks into the aisle to get to the bed, there was already a Neta there, or was it a Latin king? Whoever it was, waiting for him, like ducked down and shit. So by the time he went to sit on his bed, the guy came and he snuffed him. I mean, he ran and he snuffed him. So that blood, when he got hit, he flew over his bed and hit himself on the other bed and then fell on the floor. All right, now it gets better. Check this out. So while he's on the floor, you have me and like 10 other guys stomping the shit out this guy. I mean, boom, boom, bam, bam, motherfucker, bam, bam. And all you hear is, get him off of me. COs are screaming, stop, stop. So we started calming down because, of course, we're hitting each other. You can't beat somebody up with 10 people. You're going to hit each other, you know? So I got a few cuts in, you know what I'm saying? Somebody else got a few cuts in, and we broke it up. Now, the guy's on the floor, all like a baby, crying and everything. But and then I see him. I noticed it because I told everybody, ten cuidado, he's going for something. Be careful, he's going for something. He took a shit on himself, right? So I thought that we beat him so bad that he shit on himself, which we probably did, and it helped him out because he started going in his pants and digging in his shit, going like this, digging in it, literally digging in it, crying and screaming, and just, and I'm watching, I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, yo, tate quieto, yo, he's going for something. Yo, there was this Latin king, and I said it in my story too. I guess he wanted to be the tough guy, and he went up to the guy to jump him again. Yo, no lie, bro, out of nowhere, bro, the fucking guy just jumped up. He had 2 razors in his hand. So he had razors up his ass. So when we stomped him out, we helped him shit it out, and he was digging through the shit until he finally found it. And then he caught that Latin king and he started chasing motherfuckers around. So while he's cutting people, he's putting shit on everybody. So I'm like, damn, this fucking guy is putting shit on everybody. You know? I mean, yo, people were laughing and screaming at the same time. Now you have him. I mean, like a wild man just running at When the CEOs came in, he told them. He's like, bitch, I told you, don't put me in here. I told you what was going to happen. And look, now he's cut. Fuck him. Bring me back to the Bing. And they brought him back to the Bing. But the CEO set that shit up, bro. They shouldn't put him in that house. They knew it was a Neta King house. And it was green light. And yeah, I said, yo, he's coming in. And yeah, we did what we had to do because it was a green light. If you join a gang organization, you got to follow rules now. You got prison politics. It ain't, I'm going to do my time. I'm going to go home. Fuck that shit. You joined us. This is what we're doing. You're involved. That's it. And that's what happened. Everybody had to get involved. So we all took a beating and we all went right back to the box. So that was the shit story. They took him out. He was all shitted up. He had razors up his ass. So he was ready, bro.
I heard on this page. That's a crazy story. That's the craziest story I ever heard on this page. That's good. That's crazy, man.
I got it on my page. It's called C95 Riot with the shit guy. The shit guy.
Put all the information in the comments. I'm gonna pin it. I'm gonna put it in the description. All the links to his page, man. Make sure y'all go to his page and make sure y'all like and subscribe to his page, man. You know what I'm saying?
And like I said, all the stories are printed in black and white, bro. That's the shit. Whenever you go to court or you go to the Bing, they give you paperwork of what you got locked up for, what's your charge. I have everything. So if anybody, oh yeah, you did it. Yeah, look, I got black and white, homeboy. And I didn't snitch. That's another thing. People started getting caught and started snitching. And, you know, just to get their time knocked off, you know, that's why I could get on here and tell the world what I did. I could walk around with my head high because I did my time. I didn't snitch. I did what I had to do, and here I am. I changed my life. I let that shit alone, bro. But that's what we had to do growing up, man. Become animals, bro, because I chose that life. If you choose that life, remember, this shit comes with it, man. I suffered a lot. I got shot. I got stabbed. The fucking horrors still haunt me, bro. There are nights that I can't sleep because I still hear that motherfucker screaming. That fucking riot. I asked my wife, bro, I get nightmares still, bro. To this fucking day, 19, 20 years later, whatever it was, 30 years, I still remember that shit, bro. And that shit was scary. But we had to do that, man. We had to, bro. I feel sorry for it. And one guy died in that war too, bro. They chopped his fucking throat. Yeah. Yeah.
It seems like that people into animals, man.
That Latin King, Neta, and Blood War was over stupid shit, but we were fighting each other for nothing, bro. Over a fucking phone, over fucking commissary, over the TV for bullshit, bro. And they still do that, man. It's petty, man. That's why I'm glad I changed my life. I don't have to go through that, bro. But you have to turn into an animal, bro. Because if not, your own people is going to come after you, bro. You didn't get down. Now you got beef with them. And you can't go to your neighborhood no more. So you had to be an animal. You got no choice, bro. And that's what I tell people. You made the choice joining a gang, using drugs. You made that choice. So you should know what the fuck comes behind it. If you join a gang, you know you're going to end up dead or you're going to go to prison. And when you go to prison, you're going to have to fight like a man. You ain't just going to do your time. That's bullshit. It don't go like that. Not in New York. Not in Rikers Island. Maybe somewhere else in Mississippi or something, not here. You're going to have to put in.
So with those gangs going at it, how did the Muslims move during this time? Was they more religious, more political, or did they get it in too?
Now, the Muslims, they had, that's the thing about the Muslims that I respect and I don't respect about. Now, the Muslims were very big. They were strong. I mean, they got down. When one got down, all of them got down. But then you had phony people. Like, there was a lot of Bloods when the shit got on that turned Muslim to hide under that banner. You know what I'm saying? I'm Muslim. I'm not Blood, especially when they went upstate. They didn't say they were fucking Bloods. They were too scared to say they were Bloods. So they were saying they were Muslim. But a lot of Muslims were for real. I respected them. But a lot of Muslims also, like I said, they started off as 5%ers or Bloods or something. So they were already bad people. So, they put in work. Yeah. A lot of them got busy. Hell yeah. But, a lot of them were phony also. You know what I'm saying? They were just hiding under that band. So, yeah. That's why there were so many.
And we can't give y'all everything in part one. Man, this is part one, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Florida Prison Talk. Go ahead and give you a little outro. Give them the name of your page. Don't just say Once Upon a Time. Say the whole page, because it's a bunch of Once Upon a Times. But I'm going to still put comments in the description. But let them know again.
My name is Sade, a.k.a. Lil Mario. The page is the Once Upon a Time Show with Sade, a.k.a. Lil Mario. I don't really know the website thing, but I know it's on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? If you put Sade, a.k.a. Lil Mario, you're going to see my picture. You could hit Once Upon a Time, the hashtag, or hashtag Sade, a.k.a. Lil Mario, and it'll bring you right to my picture. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, there you go. Hashtag Sade, a.k.a. Lil Mario, Bring you right to my video. I want to give a shout out to everybody from Sunset Park, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, all my family in Philly. Want to give a shout out to people in North Carolina. That's where I'm at now. This is my family now, North Carolina. Came out here to change my life. But that's my channel. I also have Instagram, Mario's World 718. I got Facebook, Mario Sade Vargas, or you got the Once Upon a Time Show. That's my page also on Facebook. Everything is on my YouTube. Please subscribe. I need all the people I can. I got a bunch of stories, and I got more to tell. I only been doing this for a month, bro. 1 month I've been doing this. So I'm just starting. So, I need a little kick.
That's right. And listen, I'm going to pin it in the comments where all you got to do is click on a link. It's going to bring you right to his YouTube.
There you go.
Click on a link, right to his Instagram. Click on a link, going to bring you right to his Facebook. And I'm going to pin it. The subscribers, they know how that works. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the energy. The enthusiasm, man.
I got a lot more stories for you. Whenever you want part 2, I got